January 2026. Do you know what happened except for the Venezuelan invasion and the capture of Maduro? While most of the world was distracted by the New Year's celebrations, a headline quietly crossed the Fox News wire that should have sent a shiver down your spine. U.S. Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins didn't just give a routine update, she issued a line in the sand. She spoke about price fixing, foreign-controlled monopolies, and a recipe for disaster in our national food system. When the person in charge of the country's breadbasket starts using words like national security risk, it's time to stop scrolling and start listening. If you're watching this, you've likely felt it too. That nagging sense that the world is becoming a fragile house of cards, also known as the new clown world. Today, we aren't just talking about higher prices at the checkout. We are sketching the blueprint of the 48-hour mirage. We are going to expose the hidden kill switches in the global economy, the terrifying reality of the BRICS fertilizer blockade, and why the next time the shelves go empty, they might stay that way for a long, long time. Let's start with the illusion of plenty. Look around your local supermarket. It's a masterpiece of psychological warfare. The bright lights, the mist on the vegetables, the stacks of colorful boxes reaching the ceiling. It's designed to make you feel safe, to make you believe in the myth of infinite abundance. But here is the truth the industry won't tell you. Your grocery store is not a warehouse. It is a 48-hour mirage. In the old days, stores kept months of stock in the back. Today, thanks to a hyper-efficient system called just-in-time logistics, the back room is actually a truck currently vibrating on an interstate 3 states away. The moment that the truck stops, the countdown begins. Some of them are electric or even autonomous AI trucks that can be turned off with just an easy switch of the button. But this wouldn't happen, right? Yeah, right. If the GPS satellites go dark from a cyber attack, if a fuel strike paralyzes the ports, or if a geopolitical event triggers a run on the banks, that store has exactly 3 days of food before it becomes a hollowed-out shell of glass and steel. Most people think they have a week. They don't. They have 72 hours before the normalcy bias, that little voice in your head saying, "Everything will be fine," turns into a scream of realization. It seems that we're all followed by the ghost of 2020. We've seen the dress rehearsal. Let's take a trip back to the great toilet paper war of 2020. It started as a joke, didn't it? Memes of people with carts full of supplies. But then the laughter stopped. We saw the status of modern society dissolve in real time. We saw men in $1,000 suits getting into fistfights over the last bag of frozen peas. And the shame of a first world population realizing they didn't know how to feed themselves without a barcode and a credit card. The 2020 crisis was a hiccup in a functioning system. A test from the elites, one that we failed miserably. Yes, because of the toilet paper hoarders. People hoarded out of a weird collective panic. But in 2026, the variables have shifted from panic to math. In 2020, the food was still in the fields. In 2026, the fields themselves are under attack. Why? Well, let's look at the BRICS situation. This is where it gets dark. Most people think food comes from the ground. It doesn't. In the modern world, food comes from fertilizer, specifically nitrogen, phosphorus, and potash. And who owns the fertilizer? Well, of course not US, introducing the BRICS nations. Russia and China aren't just building a new currency, they are building a food fence around the planet. Russia alone supplies nearly a third of the world's fertilizer exports. China, the world's largest phosphate exporter, has been slashing its exports by millions of tons to stabilize domestic prices. Translated into plain English, they are keeping the magic dust for themselves. In 2026, the BRICS alliance has effectively gained a kill switch over Western agriculture. If they decide to redirect their supply to Brazil, India, or Egypt, the European and American farmer is left staring at a bill he can't pay. Since 2020, seed costs have risen 18%. Fuel is up 32%. Fertilizer? Up a staggering 37%. When the farmer can't afford to plant, you can't afford to eat. This isn't a conspiracy theory, it's a reality. And right now, the ledger is written in red ink. The psychology of the crash. Now let's talk about you, or rather, your brain. Human beings are hardwired to believe that tomorrow will look exactly like today. It's a survival mechanism that has become our greatest weakness. When the Fox News report mentions a food security threat, your brain does something dangerous. It ignores it to keep your stress levels low. But the alpha, the person who actually survives, operates on logic, not normalcy. In a collapse, there are 3 stages of psychology. Stage 1 is denial. You go to the store, see it's 20% empty, and assume the truck is just late. You go home and wait. Stage 2 is frantic action. This is the 20/20 hoarding phase. This is when the crowd becomes a beast. Stage 3 is despair. This is when the realization hits that the trucks aren't coming back. Yeah, it's not a movie, it's real life. The goal of this channel is to move you out of the crowd. While the average person is scrolling for brain rot content, you are mapping the exits. Next, let's design the survival protocol. So what is the play? How do you keep your status as a survivor when the mirage fades? You don't need a bunker in the woods. You need a strategic reserve. Step 1, the deep pantry. Stop thinking about survival food that tastes like wet cardboard. You aren't an astronaut, you are a person who eats. Buy what you already eat: rice, beans, pasta, canned meats. But buy them in quantities that would make a grocery manager nervous. If you buy a bag of rice every week, buy 10. It's not hoarding, it's a 0% interest investment against the 40% inflation coming for your plate. Step 2, the water logic. You can survive weeks without a steak. You have 3 days without a glass of water. If the grid goes down, the pumps stop. Most people have 0 water storage. Be the person with the high-end gravity filter, the Rolex of your survival kit. It turns a dirty puddle into a life-saving resource. Step 3, the information gap. The most valuable asset in 2026 isn't gold, it's knowing first. When the news mentions a logistics strike or a fertilizer quota, that is your signal. That is when you top off your tanks and lock your doors. By the time it's on the 6 o'clock news, it's already too late. Luckily for us, the Fox News headline was a warning shot. The 48-hour mirage is flickering. The BRICS nations have their hands on the switch, and the supply chain is a fraying rope. You have a choice. You can be the person fighting for the last roll of toilet paper, or you can be the person who saw the ink on the wall and acted while the world was still asleep. The map is drawn. The ink is drying. If you want to see the next blueprint before the lights go out, subscribe. Stay sharp, stay fed. Because once the mirage is gone, the only thing that remains is the truth you prepared for.